thing about Summer League, they let you get 10. Because if it was a regular season game, he'd had to come sit down because he got 6 fouls. So, Skip, for me, and that's what I'm looking at, I don't see the consistency. And this is what he struggled with, and this was one of my concerns when I watched him against Gonzaga. I watched him against lower-level competitions. He cooked, and then all of a sudden, he barely come to a ball when he's played upper-tier competition. So the consistency is not there. And like I said, I just believe he's going to struggle defensively when he goes up against top-tier competition. And that's what's in the NBA, top-tier competition. Because I can assure you, guys, the Keegan Murray got 29. Giannis will get 49. Kevin Durant will get 79. Yeah, it's going to be a problem for him, Skip.
By the way, before I launch on this, Keegan Murray can flat out play.
He can put the ball in the
Every
basket.
time I turn on his summer league, I say, wait a second. He is going to challenge Banchero, and he's going to challenge Jabari for Rookie of the Year because he just looks ready-made to play in the NBA. His father played at Iowa. He knows how to play. He's textbook on both offense and defense, and he cooked.
Yes.
Chet last night. He took the challenge, and you can see these kids when they come up against Chet, like, okay, watch what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah, if I'm going against a guy that was drafted in front of me, I'm going to show you, you should have taken me instead of him.
Keegan went 4th, and obviously Chet went 2nd.
Right.
Jabari went 3rd. Okay. So the game starts last night, and if we could see what happened, right away Chet pops out and takes a 3. Could we see that, please? And when he pops out and takes a 3, it seems so effortless. This is wide open. They just blew the defense. But it looks like he's shooting a free throw. And by the way, in the Summer League so far, he's made 15 out of 16 free throws. Okay, that'll work, right?
Yeah.
Easy 3. Look, it just looks easy, like he's 7 feet 1 inch tall, and he can do that.
Right.
And then a few seconds later, he gets the ball near the top of the key, if we could see this, and he just drives through the defense and manages to hang on to the basketball, and he dunks it.
Yep.
And he's highly capable of doing that regularly, right?
Yep.
And then if we could flash forward a little bit to mid-3rd quarter, he got stuck underneath and had the presence of mind, if we could see him kick the ball from the baseline back out to the 3. For a little Trey Mann, if we could see the assist that he pulls off. This is pretty special stuff for 7 feet 1. He dribbled between his legs, then he gets stuck, and he kicks it back out. Okay, he saw it coming, and he set it up, and he little backdoor kicked it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's hard to do that at 7 feet 1.
Right.
Now to my big picture premise. I went into it on my podcast, so if you want more depth on this, check out this week's podcast.
Okay.
But I've told you for years that I'm just spitting facts here, that white American centers taken in the lottery are bad ideas. And it's just a litany of them, and I'll just read off some of the names without going through the stats. But all these guys were taken so high that you have to consider them a bust, right? And
Big Country.
Big Country was the best of them because he ended up averaging.
I think he went All-Star 1 year, though, Skip.
He averaged 13 and 7. He's the best of the group. He went 6th overall. But ahead of him was Eric Montross, one of your Tar Heels, right? And he averaged 5 and nothing. And he was taken 9th overall. And then we, by the way, Greg Ostertag went 28th in that same draft, Big Country. But then we go Chris Mims, Spencer Haas, Cole Aldrich, Cody Zeller, Frank Kaminsky. It's just a litany, and it's one after another, and then
Hansbrough,
but he's not. I'm talking about 7-footers.
Okay.
And then there was my guy Myers Leonard back in 2012. That was a big flashpoint for me because I said before the draft, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to take him. And he goes 11th overall, so it was still in the lottery. And he ended up averaging 6, 4, and 1 for his career and became a 3-point shooter late. And he had some serviceability as a.
But Big Country, Skip, he had a couple of good years up in Vancouver.
He lasted 6 years in the league. Okay. And he was the best of the bunch.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to hark back to my old friend Bill Walton, because once upon a time, there was a guy from San Diego named Bill Walton who went to UCLA, and you're certainly old enough to remember this. He was
Portland.
3-time, obviously, NCAA Player of the Year, goes 1st overall in the draft, and did he ever back it up? If he hadn't had foot issues, he would have really backed it up because, first of all, he led Portland to an NBA title and was the finals MVP and turned right around in the next year and was the regular season MVP in this league.
Yep.
He wasn't quite 7 feet, but he played 7 feet because he was long and 6'11".
Yeah.
And
he was textbook coming under Coach Walton. I mean, he was textbook. I mean, the way he shot the ball, the way he rebounded the ball, had the elbows up, the outlet passes. He was textbook. He was fundamentally sound for a big guy.
That's the epitome. That's the pinnacle.
That was in the mid-'70s.
Mid-'70s. 1977, Bill Walton averaged 19, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists. 4 assists is pretty good.
Yes.
And 3.2 blocks is really good because
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that led the league that year in blocks. Okay, so he's doing it all.
Right.
That's at the highest level. So if I start comparing Chet to Bill Walton, Chet suffers mightily because Bill Walton stepped on the floor and played with body language like, I just know I'm the best player out here.
Right.
I don't care what color you are. I don't care what country you're from. I just know I'm the best player on the floor right now because he just flat out was.
Yes.
And he brought his legacy from UCLA and just took right off into the NBA.
Yep.
So the point is, Bill played, I know a lot of people now only know him as, it's almost like he's a cartoon character on there, but he's funny and he's great.
Right.
And
for his Grateful Dead, his tie-dye T-shirts.
On that, but people forget, you have to be old enough to remember, he was a terror in this league.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and then he turned it right around and was 6th man of the year for the Boston Celtics.
86.
Okay, with Larry Bird and company. All right, so the point is, as I start to tear Chet down a little bit, when I start to see what he is and what he isn't, I don't find the consistent intensity.
Right.
Because I thought last night after he made the 3 and drove and dunked it, I thought, okay, are we going to be in attack mode? Because I've seen one attack mode game, and it was the first game in Salt Lake City.
Against Taco and another guy that was 6'7".
That is correct. And he had a big game that night. He had 23 and 7 rebounds and 6 blocks. Okay, but that's the only time we've seen that.
Right.
And yet, now he starts to drift through games, and he seems totally content to set picks without rolling hard to the basket. He never sets up in the lane and demands the basketball. He doesn't make himself available in the lane in ways that could be unstoppable.
Because there's contact. Let me pick and pop. Then I can shoot I'll be open for the 3, or I can shoot the mid-range. Skip, you know if you roll to the basket, there might be some collisions.
Okay, but he knows he's got skill that can elevate him above the collisions if he'll take advantage of it. And my friend Greg Anthony was doing the commentary. I don't know if you had your sound down last night, but he said that Chet is a lot tougher than people think. Now, he's getting that from the coaches, obviously. Well, I couldn't tell, to use your line, right? Okay, I haven't seen enough of that. I'll see little flashes of it. I'll see all kinds of little flashes from him. But last night, it's about taking the challenge because he knows what's coming. Keegan Murray's coming right after him. Because he's drafted 4th and you're drafted 2nd. You have to take the challenge. And the problem with Chet is I can't teach or coach heart. I just can't do it. No. I can't teach or coach intensity or quote-unquote killer will.
No, that's in you.
You either have it or you don't have it.
Right.
The skill at 7'1" is, trust me, it's extraordinary. It's Walton-esque on overall skill, the ability to do all these things.
Right.
But you have to execute them with the intangibles to detonate them during a game.
Right.
And I'm not seeing it consistently. I'll see a flash here or there.
Yeah.
And remember, there was no Josh Giddey last night because they just decided to shut him down, which they should have because he played in the NBA last year. He'd done enough.
Exactly.
Okay? But they had some rapport, and Josh was getting Chet into positions that he could succeed in.
Right.
So Josh, because he plays point really at 6'8", and he's strong.
He got a lot of dunks rolling to the basket with Giddey.
That is correct. So
now, he would roll it. He did pick and roll with Giddey, though, Skip.
No,
so maybe that's what he's...
A little more. But in the end, I need to see the intangibles, and you can say, well, he's just a kid. Well, he is just a kid.
Right.
But I'm seeing other kids. I saw Banchero come out and just say, I got this, right?
Yeah.
And I saw Jabari against Chet say, I'm going to show you. And it was a battle, but again, these guys are showing him up, and he doesn't seem bothered by it, which bothers me, right?
Yeah, Keegan Murray, man. He came in last night. He came in like Banchero did that first night against Jabari. He's like, I want the challenge. I'm gonna get buckets on you, bro. They keep talking about you a great defensive guy and all this. You can slide and you athletic.
Okay. I'm still not going to condemn Sam Presti for plunging.
No.
Because the upside is truly higher than Banchero or Jabari or Keegan. The upside. But
he gotta hit those
there, to get there, you got to do it here.
Yeah.
Because Shannon Sharp is a 7th-round pick. He had you have to
some
believe.
mentality. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I was a 7th-round pick, but that's not how I saw myself.
No, you did not see yourself.
I see myself especially after I had gone to the combine, Skip, and I had played in some of the bowl games with the guys that drafted higher than I was. And I remember calling my brother, saying, man, these dudes not better than me. They not. I'm sorry.
It did help you to have a big brother who played because you could just see, wait a second.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, they're not better than me.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
who ended up in the Hall of Fame out of all of those guys? That's the question.
Well, Big Brother
right,
should
guys,
be in the Hall of Fame, but that's a whole
He's a
nother issue.
semifinalist on the senior committee this year.
He should. Guys, you mentioned Keegan Murray. He had 29 points last night on 9 of 17 shooting. He certainly had himself a night. OKC won the game, though, 86-80. All right, still to come. Back to the NFL. And, Skip, it's time to talk about your Cowboys. Should they go all in and trade for Deebo Samuel? Stay tuned. That's coming up next on Undisputed.